I don't know about y'all, but to me, the Capital One Cafe situation, that's the sign of the end. The end is really, really close now that banks are making cafes. Like, I'm sorry, a cafe that is supposed to be something that an individual makes. I mean, Starbucks is, why is a bank making a cafe? It's sad, it's really sad. And Homo sapiens are in there, enjoying the Capital One Cafe. Look at it. That looks like a college dorm commonplace. There's more to it. Oh, it extends. It's massive. It's huge. It looks like an airport lounge. It breaks my heart. Blade Runner 2049 is like 5 years away. I swear to God. Oh, it continues. It keeps going. And open an account.
Are the rise of cafes in New York City helping or ruining the culture? Hey guys, it's your girl Brandy, aka Brandy4. Welcome back to my channel. Welcome to my channel if you are new here. I do lots of videos now on NYC related topics, considering I am born and raised in New York City and currently reside in New York City. So if you like that, make sure you subscribe to my channel. If you haven't seen my last few videos, make sure you check that out. I did one on NYC culture and how it's dying / dead due to gentrification. I also did a video around gatekeeping, since there have just been a lot of lines everywhere. And also I just came out with a video around rich kids in NYC. Are they cosplaying as poor? So if you haven't seen any of those videos, make sure you support your girl Brandy4. Today I actually wanted to talk about cafes specifically. If you live in New York City / a big city, honestly anywhere, cafes have just been on the rise in terms of like cafes opening in every single neighborhood, quite frankly, whether it's a residential neighborhood, whether it's a neighborhood where there's like multiple office buildings, commercial buildings, cafes are everywhere. And don't get me wrong, I am a coffee / matcha girly. I love me my coffee in the morning every day. So, you know, here and there, if I'm not using my Keurig, I do go to a cafe just to get something, you know, just to get something different. Don't judge me, I'm definitely like a black coffee girly because I just don't like all the extra sweetness. Also, when I used to drink coffee with sweeteners every day, I was definitely gaining weight. So that's why I was like, yeah, let me just stick to black coffee. But otherwise, when I do want to treat myself before work, which has been like recently I've been treating myself to a matcha, a good iced matcha latte. So I'm not one to hate the fact that cafes are opening. That said, there are quite a lot of cafes in the city, to the point where these cafes are pretty much taking over businesses that have been here for a while. And if you live in New York, you can tell that a lot of businesses are shutting down, especially in Brooklyn in particular. Every week I'm finding out that another black owned business is closing down, and it's not really making sense, from bars to restaurants to ice cream shops. Like, I'm actually very annoyed. Like, someone commented under my video, shout out to whoever that was who commented, letting me know that one of these ice cream shop Scoops closed on Flatbush, and I was very annoyed. I'm just like, what the hell is going on? Like, all of these businesses are closing. And the reason why I am bringing this up to begin with, the fact that businesses are closing, is because most of these businesses are being replaced by cafes and coffee shops. And at one point, can we just be like, all right, like, I understand this is a trend. Everyone loves a good cafe, but when can we say it's becoming too much? Too repetitive? There are too many options at this point, and now I'm kind of like, can we think of another idea? Can we like reimagine a cafe? Obviously, I feel like cafes have always been a thing, but it has been even more of a thing, especially with the rise of remote work, especially after COVID, and, you know, people just wanting to find another workspace outside of their home. I live in an apartment, for instance, and although I really, every day, I'm always like, let me try to go to a cafe around the corner. I never do it. I'm always just stuck at my desk at home. And quite frankly, I actually do want to do that, where I, discover new cafes and work at different cafes versus just at home. Because after a while, if you are a remote worker, you kind of get tired. You get like cabin fever from just working at home all day, every day, 8 hours straight, all day, every day. So people seek cafes just to have somewhere else to do their work, just to have another place to do their work so they can separate their home from their work, which is something I should definitely do, but I choose not to for whatever reason. But yeah, that's why cafes are just rapidly growing and people are constantly going to cafes. And then on top of that, thinking about the community aspect of it as well, especially after COVID, a lot of us are missing out on the community aspect where it's harder for us to meet different people, or more so like working in an office, for instance. A lot of people are still, in fact, working remote. So for the people who are working remote, like they go to cafes to honestly find that community that they are missing through their remote work. You're not really speaking to coworkers every day, not looking at coworkers every day, having that, line of communication, like verbal communication, face-to-face communication. So what people do to, keep that, I don't know if you would call it like momentum of it, but just to continue to have that fulfilled in their life, they go to, spaces that provide that. And most of the time that's cafes. Also, the lack of third spaces. I never know if it's like third spaces or places. But yeah, the lack of third places, people also just want to find that space where they can always go to if they just feel like communicating with other people, if they feel like meeting someone else. Not everyone always wants to go to a bar. Not everyone drinks. Not everyone goes to parties. Not everyone is an extrovert who likes to dance and boogie into someone at, a bar or something. So people go to cafes to fulfill that need, basically for the people who want to feel productive. So it is nice. People tend to go to cafes just to find people who are kind of in the same boat as them productivity wise. So I understand why, a lot of people do need cafes. Like cafes are very essential, especially for a city like New York City, where people are always on the grind, are always looking to be productive, and, always looking to find community. Cafes are very essential for the city. That said, do I think we need multiple cafes on every block? No. I don't think when one small business closes, we need to instantly replace it with a cafe. I don't know if that's necessarily like anything we can control. Like if people can afford the rent and open a cafe in the space where one of the businesses closed, I mean, by all means, they could do whatever they want. But that said, I question whether like those people who are opening the cafes next to another cafe, why do they tend to do that? Why don't they look in a different neighborhood that might actually need a cafe versus like a neighborhood that already has 3 on the block? Everything goes back to social media as well in terms of just the popularity of cafes, because everyone on TikTok specifically, if it's not like clean girl aesthetic, is definitely people who they kind of do like motivational content, like grind content, and especially influencers. They love to show us their calendar, their Google Calendar, while they're in a cafe taking their influencer calls in their cafe. So because of that, when you do see influencers working at a cafe, they have their iced coffee or iced matcha. People look at that and go, oh, okay, that actually makes me want to be just as productive as they're being. So especially Gen Z, we're so on like the grind mode of things. We're always trying to find ways to make more money, try to be as productive as possible, try to be as healthy as possible, etc., etc. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna find those spaces that allow us to not only actually be productive, but appearances matter, so look productive as well. The reason why I'm even making this video to begin with is because I saw a TikTok. This guy had mentioned that there is a Capital One cafe in the city now. There's a Capital One cafe in the city now. Banks are opening cafes. Let that sink in. That's where I draw the line.
Okay, this is like a legit, honest question. Who is going to the Capital One cafes? No, because actually, like, one, why do those exist? And two, like, who wants a coffee and is like, you know what I need a Capital One cafe coffee.
Banks are opening cafes. And obviously, banks are, what they're going to do is they're going to bank on what is banking, and it's cafes. But when do we put our foot down and say enough is enough? So funny because I remember seeing because I have a Built card, and I remember seeing them start opening cafes, and I was kind of like, okay, I don't really know how to feel about this, but whatever. I guess Built is like one of the smaller banks. I don't even know. I feel like everyone has a Built card these days, but I guess they're one of the smaller banks, so I kind of let it slide. But after I saw the Capital One Bank one, I was like, yeah, no. And it's so funny because I actually wanted to look up an article on this to see if anyone is talking about this. Anyone has noticed the fact that banks now are starting to bank on the fact that cafes are like so popular. And it's so funny because I was literally trying to look up an article, for instance, like from The Cut. They're a publication. And of course, the first thing I see is The Cut opens a pop-up cafe. Literally, I was trying to look up articles. I saw Uniqlo, they just opened up their own cafe in the store recently. I already know Target, they have like Starbucks in their stores, so I'm kind of like, okay, whatever. I know like Walmart and Target, they have cafes in their stores, but I'm thinking, okay, since they sell groceries there, I'm like, okay, fair enough. But Uniqlo, The Cut, like a publication opening a cafe, at this point, it's just becoming a thing. It's just, I don't know. It's weird. I think, when does it become too much? I don't know if this is the right way to go about it, but businesses, once corporate America gets a hold of these things, that's when it's going downhill. And now that Capital One opened up, I don't know if like Bank of America, I'm sure Chase is next. I'm sure Chase is going to open a cafe. Once all these banks start opening cafes, guess what's going to happen to these local businesses? They're going to lose out on business. Especially when these corporations, they're going to pay these very popular influencers to advertise, to promote, to take over these spaces. And obviously, once people see these influencers doing it, people end up doing it because no one really has a mind of their own. So that's what tends to happen. Even seeing the Capital One cafe, you can like look and see like the cafe is pretty spacious. It has a good amount of workspaces for people to take their calls, to do their work. Clearly, they have a high-speed internet. As long as you have that, as long as you have like a reliable cafe where people can just go, people are gonna go. Like people aren't caring that it's not a local business. People just want the convenience factor of a cafe. And if these banks are giving it to them, they're going to go. And I mean, you cannot necessarily fault the people for doing what they need to do to be productive in their own right. Like, they have every right to do it. But it goes back to the question of, is this beneficial to our city? Is this beneficial to the local business? I mean, no. The answer is no for the local businesses specifically. It's not. It's not beneficial. It's just very sad. Our city is turning black and white, or just gray. I don't even know. The city is just, everything is becoming so corporate-y. It's actually a joke. But yeah, I just thought it was interesting. I just wanted to talk about it. I don't know if you guys have noticed at all. But yeah, let me know your thoughts on this video or whatever I said. Yeah, so if you are also seeing the rise in cafes in your city, let me know. Do you like that this is happening? Do you think it's becoming a bit much? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Like this video and subscribe to your girl Brandy for more content. Also, I haven't been posting much reality TV content because I don't know if like my new subscribers want that content. I don't know if you guys know, I used to do content on Love Island, on now I would like to do Real Housewives of Atlanta and Potomac, so if you like any of that, let me know. Maybe I'll do YouTube shorts. I haven't really been doing any I have never done a YouTube short, so yeah, let me know if you want to see that type of content. I can definitely continue doing that. But yeah, bye.